Hey, good afternoon, y'all. Listening over my Philippine dreams. Was a little remiss in not reporting on a couple other things that have been going on in the Philippines. One having to do with some foreigners injured in a firefight with the NPA right here on Negros, my hometown island, and another about a Scottish national who's been detained up in Manila without charges. So what I'm going to do is just get right into it. First up, the two foreigners that were injured in a firefight the other day. Two foreigners and their driver were injured after they were trapped in the middle of an armed encounter between police and suspected members of the New People's Army in Kawayan town in Negros Occidental, and this was yesterday afternoon. Kawayan town. The police identified the victims as Carl Christer Arvidsson, a Swedish national male, Brazilian Juliana Palmero, and driver Jason Tumayo, who I believe was Filipino. The victims were on their way to a beach resort in nearby Sipalay City, and I've been to Sipalay a few times. Sugar Beach is up there. It's a great place. It seems like they were on their way there. Arvidsson, the Swedish national, was hit in his left wrist, while Palmero sustained a gunshot wound in her left shoulder. Tumayo, meanwhile, sustained wounds in his face, stomach, and thigh. They were brought to a hospital in Bacolod City and are currently recuperating. Cauayan Municipal Police Station Chief Inspector Gary Allen Rusima said 5 of his personnel were responding to a reported holdup incident. Rusima said that while on their way to the area, at least 30 armed men fired at them along the highway. So these are the suspected members of the NPA. So it's the police, 5 police officers being ambushed by 30 armed assailants. Our policemen were able to jump from the vehicle and fired back at the suspects. Unfortunately, the victim's car, which was following the police vehicle, was trapped in the encounter, causing it to fall into a small canal. The police said it took about 15 minutes of firefight before the armed group decided to withdraw. Nobody from the government force was hurt, but their vehicle sustained some damage. Reports are that 2 members of the rebel group were believed to be injured. Authorities, however, have yet to confirm this. Recovered from the ambush site were spent casings of M16 and AK-47 assault rifles. Hot pursuit operations are ongoing. This is coming from the BAP and the GMA News. So that was just yesterday. I've been up there twice. It's a beautiful area. It's really nice. And unfortunately, it looks like it's a little dangerous right now. So if you get any plans of going up to Sipalay, go to Sugar Beach, see one of the best. Actually, it's my favorite place on Negros. Uh, be advised of the situation on that. Another situation we got going on. Now, I'm reporting on this, but I've only been able to find 2 primary sources. A lot of this stuff is alleged. All right, there's a few facts in this case that's I'm going to talk about right now, but some of it is alleged. Let me see if this thing's working. It looks like it's working. All right. So this occurred. This is basically how romance turned to jail horror for a Scottish father. This is coming from a couple sites. From a dream romance that should have lasted forever to the cold, hard floor of a jail cell. That's the dramatic preface. This is the nightmare that Frank Bollert is yet to wake from. The divorced father of one from Scotland left his home nation 6 years ago to be with Arlen, his young Filipino wife, for a lifetime of sunshine and happiness. Jeez, who wrote this? But it all turned sour on September 14th. That was last month, a couple weeks ago, with a knock on the door from the police. Mr. Bollart's girlfriend had made cruelty allegations against him, which he claims are false. He has not been charged as of yet. And to add insult to injury, his belongings, including his phone, laptop, and car, have been taken from his house. In posts online, Mr. Bollard said, okay, so keep in mind he's being detained in Manila, and he's actually being detained at the jail where they usually keep foreigners that have overstayed. And the Philippines just recently asked for more money to expand that facility because they just don't have enough money to keep all the overstaying aliens, I guess, there. So he stated on Facebook, I have been illegally detained, no arrest, no charges, no nothing, only allegations against me from her. A friend went to my house to get some things for me. She said that everything is now gone. I guess this was a female friend of his. My bank books, checkbooks, immigration documents, cell phone, laptop, even my car is gone. Is there no justice in the Philippines? And again, this is coming through his Facebook account online because, in the Philippines, you can have your phone in prison. Mr. Bollart's family have enlisted the help of the Foreign Office, that must be the UK Foreign Office, to try to get him free from the detention center in Manila, where he is locked in a cell with 11 other people. His stepbrother, Graham Simpson, said his visa was about to run out, so he was getting ready to go to the immigration office and renew it. He got a knock on the door from the police, and she made these allegations of cruelty. Cruelty is actually a crime in the Philippines. They took him and locked him in a cell. He can't believe it. They have been together for 6 years. He's heartbroken. There are no charges against him. They shouldn't be able to keep him there. He's in a tiny cell with a load of others. He's scared of what might happen to him. He's sleeping on this tiny mattress. Human rights people went to see them on Tuesday, and they were horrified by the conditions. Mr. Bollard used to run a firm hiring out winches to oil companies in the northeast of Scotland. He was also a consultant in the trade. In 2011, he met Arlen online and decided to follow his heart to the Philippines. The pair ran a bar together until his recent arrest and detainment. The Philippines Bureau of Immigration has refused to comment, stating that it will not discuss individual cases. A Foreign and Commonwealth Office spokesman said, "We are providing support to a British man following his detention in the Philippines on 14 September. We are in contact with local authorities." All right, so it looks like they're working on that. Now, keep in mind that most of the information being presented from here is from this guy's his own testimony through Facebook online. It's his side of the story, and from that of his friends, and some objective information that he has been detained. I'm not sure if charges have been filed or not. And like I said, there's only a couple outlets that are talking about this right now. And this is a situation that can occur here. I've seen it happen before, especially when relationships go south, when the resentments build up and people are looking to get a little vindictive. I've seen this happen before. This actually happened to somebody I know. I've known him for years here. His wife wanted him to buy land and build a house, and he didn't want to do that. He just wanted to rent and stuff. So she got into a big fight with them. All kinds of drama ensued, and she put up charges against him. He had to go back to Canada, and he had to basically file for divorce from there because it just didn't work out. So again, with every story, there's three sides. There's his side, there's her side, and there's the truth. So we don't know about this one. But this happens a lot here, and the wheels of justice are slow to turn in the Philippines. People have been sometimes detained for up to 2 years, and there's not a decision in their case for up to 5 years. This actually happened to a gentleman that I know of from Bogo. You guys might know of Joe Bogo. So that's crazy. So these are a couple things that I forgot to mention this morning during the live cast, so I just thought I'd put it out there all right now. Also, down in the video description box, you'll see a link to a short documentary that was done by Vice. And if you're not subscribed or watching or following Vice, you're missing out. It's a great news outlet. They do fantastic work. They really get out there. They get embedded. And I think they're doing amazing work. Check out the video they put together on the fighting in Mawari. I can never say that. Mawari. And some of the stuff that's going on with the rescue efforts down there. And there's actually a gentleman named Bin Laden who used to be a commander or high up in the MILF down there. And he's actually working, trying to, form these safety corridors to get the civilians out. This was taken a while back. Stuff still going on down there. And also in GMA News, I saw yesterday that somehow the city or some provincial area down there is trying to sue the Philippines government for bombing the city and causing all kinds of devastation. And when you check out the documentary, you actually see how devastated the city is. It is blown up. There are still people down there. There are still people fighting down there. They're not going to give up, and who knows what's going to happen. Unfortunately, again, it's the civilian population, it's the women, the children, and all that bear the brunt of this, continuous freaking forever war that doesn't seem like it's gonna ever end. So let's go to the comments real quick. I just wanted to talk about this. Uh, yeah, you can be. Yeah, so, there's some people that say you can't get arrested for overstaying. They can definitely detain you for overstaying. They got there's an entire jail up in Manila. This is where this guy's at, and that's basically all it is. It's a big portion of that jail is for foreigners, aliens who have overstayed and have been detained. Oh yeah, they'll definitely lock you up. I hate to name drop, but living in Cebu forums, the owner of that forum, he made a mistake, and they detained him for a little while. It's happened. Critical thinkers saying, Ned, get the hell out of there. Yeah. Um, Actually, this is for you, Aaron Wilson. I think I'm infected with Stockholm syndrome. I think I've been taken hostage by the Philippines. I like it here. Bruce Bogan asked a good question. How could he transmit anything when all of his stuff was confiscated or stolen? Good question. Good question. Maybe somebody brought him a phone, another phone, his female friend. Again, guys, keep in mind, there's three sides to this story. There's his side, which you just heard. There's her side, and there's the truth. Yeah, I pay my visa fees too. I actually overstayed one time, and I think I was only like 2 days late, and they actually gave me a pass. I was surprised they gave me a pass, but they gave me a pass. Yeah, Lucas, this was because I forgot to mention these two things that happened down there. The foreigners that were killed on our island, right up near Sipalay, in a firefight. They were caught in crossfire between the police and the NPA, and also the Scottish national who's being detained. Graham says, sounds like this is getting worse, not better. Locked up abroad, expat in training says, yeah. I've been to the jail here. Actually, it's the federal detention center. It's the state prison and federal detention center here on Negros. And I did some videos in there, and it's not someplace I would want to stay long term. It's basically like a little village enclosed by a wall and barbed wire, concertina wire. They got all the village stuff like barber shop. They got a furniture shop. They got electrical repair shop. They got sari stores. They got carinderias. There's kids running all over the place because every day is family day there. The guards are real chill. They're real laid back. And there was actually this guy that I knew. I think he's up in. They transferred him, and he was doing time for murder. And I'm like, dude, why don't you escape? And he's like, brother, I'm on an island. Where the hell am I gonna go? And he said also, if they catch you, there's a good chance they might kill you, or there's a good chance that they might give you 50 more years on top of it. Yeah, I mean, in Philippines, Mike, he said, I think he said the same thing. That's what I'm hearing right now. It all depends. It all depends on what they're going to do. Okay, there's two words we have to remember while we're in the Philippines, and I never fully understood the enormity of the implications of these words until I moved to the Philippines. Arbitrary and capricious. Okay? There's all kinds of laws and regulations on the books. There's all kinds of policies and procedures that they're supposed to follow in certain cases, but it doesn't get done all the time. Sometimes they're cutting people breaks, sometimes, whatever it may be. You never know what's going to happen, but you can definitely be detained for overstaying. And it might not be a formal arrest, but they might detain you just so they have you because they want to get the money. They want the visa fees. And they're going to, have you contact your family and friends somewhere if you say you don't have the money and all that, or friends in the Philippines to try to raise the fees. And eventually they're just going to, deport you and blacklist you. Let's talk budgets. Oh, I don't want to talk budgets. Okay, yeah, my last budget, I'm actually doing that this week. I actually kept track of September. Valis Bakag asks, I've heard that President Duterte has changed his view of America. Is this just a rumor or is it true? Yeah, actually the other day he was actually saying nice things about the United States. So, again, you never know. You never know where it's going to go. Because I guess he had slagged the U.S. for sending over some substandard weapon systems or something, and he kind of corrected himself without actually admitting, that he said the wrong thing. John Esom asks, have they got the plastic for driver's licenses yet? Yeah, it took me a year and a half to get my plastic license, and I finally got it. It took a little while. Yeah, yeah, it took, well, not a year and a half, but it was over a year. That's a lot of, yeah. So that's basically it. Is the guy who ran a bar for years? Yeah, Steve Urquhart. Urquhart. Steve Urquhart. God, you're almost as bad as these Filipino names. Yeah, that's the guy that him and his girlfriend or wife, they ran a bar for, 4 or 5 years. So that's that. All right, everybody, thanks again, and I'm sorry for being remiss and not reporting on this morning. I'm going to sign off on the live cast. If you're out there, be safe, be well, and I'm not a religious guy, man, but pray that all this insanity around the world just kind of winds down so we can, live in a peaceful and happy world where people can realize happiness. That's all. Take care. Peace.